In Genesis 1, when we read that God created the heavens and the earth, we read that he said it was good. It was not in a fallen state, and neither was man. That's in the beginning. Now, some believe in the gap theory, how that in Genesis chapter 1, verse 2, we see earth basically destroyed and darkness was upon the face of the deep and it was flooded already. Now, I personally do believe this because in Genesis 1 1 in the KJV it says, in the beginning, God created the heaven, singular, and the earth. There was no firmament, this thing separating, us from the third heaven, so to speak. And then we read later on in Genesis chapter 1, the generations, plural, of the heavens and the earth. And that leads me to think also that there are more than one generations to heaven and earth. So, yes, I do believe in what they call the gap theory, and I think there is pretty good evidence to point to that. But regardless, what we're looking at is God either creating or recreating, in my opinion, refurbishing the earth and saying that it was good. It was in an unfallen state. Because regardless if it was fallen before already, he made it so that it was in an unfallen state. And then he made man in the same way, an unfallen state. It was good. Okay, now what happens first? Did earth fall first or did man fall first? Man fell first. And then the earth fell, following man's fall, or probably simultaneously, but it was contingent. In other words, it depended on what man did as far as the state of the earth. They are connected. We are connected, okay, spiritually and physically, everything with the earth. Now we look at the last days that we are in. We look at physical destruction starting to happen on the earth, right? We look at the state of the earth getting worse and worse as far as the earth itself in the last days. But what also happens in the last days? A great falling away from the faith. You see, they are simultaneously connected. And it's actually the state of man that is, how do you say, involving the state of the earth. It is the state of man that is actually affecting the earth, just like in the beginning. It was man's state that ruined the earth's state. And so what do we have? We have all kinds of what we call natural disasters. Some of them are not so natural, if you know what I mean. But the state of the earth, regardless, is being corrupted because in the last days, man is being corrupted. They are one and the same. We're connected with everything here. So we have a great falling away and we have atrocities on the earth. Now, why do you think it's so important for the devil and his workers to pollute the gospel, to silence the truth? Because they know that if man does not do his part in falling away from the faith and becoming corrupted, then the earth cannot go and do its part as far as being corrupted. Everybody wants to save the planet, but they're atheists. They don't get it. You have to save man first. Then the earth will follow. But the people who are deceived under a strong delusion think it's the other way around. But it's not. It's backwards. Now moving to the heavens. The exact same situation. People think of heaven as this place that is perfect. And well, that is only partially true at the moment. Where does Satan and the devil, his angels get kicked out of? They get kicked out of heaven. In the book of Job, how does Satan and the other angels approach God in heaven? Because they're in heaven. Heaven is polluted right now. The same way that the earth is. The same way that man is. And I believe that even all that is connected to the state of man. Why do you think it's the devil's biggest interest to corrupt man? Not just kill man. If you kill man, then you can't corrupt everything. You have to corrupt man in order to corrupt everything. Because see, if you kill people, things will just continue on as they are. But if you corrupt people, then things become more corrupted all around. Heaven, earth, other people, angels, everything. That is a truth that people don't hardly realize and talk about. And this should make you guys out there really examine how important it is actually for us to get out the truth however we can. Is because it's almost like you're holding up a dam. Now, ultimately, God will make his decisions, but God has given man partial duty to be a part of what is going on. What unbelievers don't understand, and even a lot of believers, is that they affect all of this regardless if they believe it or not. We were made as mankind, all of us, connected to what goes on here. So yes, what they do and don't believe and do and don't do affect things. Just like the destination of a person's soul. Is an atheist going to get up to God and say, well, I don't believe in you and I don't believe in hell? Is it going to matter whether they believe it or not? No, regardless, it's going to affect them. The judgment of God is going to affect everybody, regardless if you believe it or not. It is what it is. And that's the same with the state of the earth and the state of man. The more that man as a whole is corrupted, as we see happening here in the last days, the more that the earth is corrupted and affected. And the heavens, everything. Jesus himself said the kingdom of God is within you. He's speaking about something that is what I'm talking about right now. Doesn't your spiritual state affect your physical state as well? Right? People get sick because they're so depressed or because they're so, I guess you could say, messed up in the head. I don't like to use that because I don't want to put anybody down. I'm a little messed up in the head too. Your spiritual state affects your physical state. The same thing. If you can corrupt man spiritually, it's going to first, yes, I don't know first or not, but it's going to affect his physical state, of course. But it's going to, even deeper in that sense, affect the earth's physical state. And the earth is also spiritual too, right? Because it was all connected as one. And it is still all connected as one, but it's been corrupted and compromised. So you see what is going on here? The last days falling away, right? And even the people who don't believe are affecting the last days, bringing judgment upon everyone. You know, you see people talk about, well, what do you care what I do? It doesn't affect you. Actually, it does.